broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I need the chorus for this one.
I think they know where we're going with this. You don't know nothing about. All right, Kelly's going out in her red high heels. The Orange County ladies are bowling in their probably a little bit more expensive high heels. Hey there, everybody. My name is Christy Olsen. Welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV's recap of the Real Housewives of Orange County. This one was, of course, episode called Bowling in Heels.
Bowling in Heels.
They did.
They did.
Thank you for joining us on YouTube. Please hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe at youtube.com/AFTERBUZZ-TV. And you can all follow me at Christy Reports. Keep up in the convo. We want to know what you have to say as well. Allison is in the chat live, so you can hang out there. Yes. You can also tweet along with us at #ABTVRHOC.
Woo!
It's just a coincidence that it rhymes. It's just a coincidence.
It does. It sounds very, very fluid. I'm Alison Dean. You can find me everywhere at the Alison Dean. Thanks for joining us. We're missing Grant this week. We're missing Blake, but they should be back next week.
And they're actually doing really fun things.
Okay, so they're
it's okay.
We're doing fun things too, Christy.
This is
We're
true.
Together.
Yes. And happy to be here, and so happy that you all have joined us in the chat. Let's get chitty-chatting about this right now.
Yes, let's do it.
Because this whole first scene with Shannon and the whole thing and the weight and the stuff, this is kind of the juicy things we want to see our fellow ladies going through. You know, she was always one who just seemed naturally thin and super healthy, and she just looks so good for any age.
Tamara, yes.
Shannon.
Oh, Shannon.
So when she goes and hits her trainer at the gym,
and she's not at the weight that she wants to be at.
Right, which we can all relate to.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. But you know what? I have faith in her. Mm-hmm. I do. She has all the accoutrements around her. She's very good. She's very tuned into all the Eastern medicine and the healthy food and the lemons in the bowl. And, I think she'll dial it in.
Yeah, she's going to get her chi fixed.
Yep.
She's going to push her pressure points, pressure her pushy points, whatever they do to fix the chi.
All of that.
Chi's all straightened out.
All that
and
jazz.
She brings up again, though, that she asked David to make a list of all the restaurants he went to with his affair. And I'm wondering if the other folks watching at home were starting to think about this as well. Do we think that the affair thing is having an impact on her self-esteem?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Why? Yeah, I would think so. I mean, I'm sure she's still sort of being affected at the notion of her husband with another woman, and I don't know if she knows who the woman was.
She knows.
So okay, so then you make comparisons. Oh, okay, so did he do this because I'm this way, I'm that way? So yeah, certainly I think you could get yourself into a bit of a pickle that way.
She has nothing to be
she looks great.
Anything but confident about. When she lifted up that shirt, which I didn't think she was going to do.
No, I gave her kudos for that. I was like, go Shannon.
Right?
I would have been like,
I mean, after several kids, and even without, again, even if she was 20 years old and had never had a child, that would still be a great look. Yeah. So I hope, but it is about what's in here and how you're feeling. And I just always say that too about even weight. Like, if I go to the gym one day and eat healthy, I automatically just don't feel like a fat ass anymore. You're like, oh,
that's
I'm
all
so
it
good.
takes.
I did good today. I'm not fat anymore. It's fine.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's all about how you feel.
You look great, Christy. You're fine. I hope you never feel that way. Don't ever
That's
feel
why
that
I
way.
come just to hear. Just to hear all this. But, guys, we are able to bring these shows to you for free. Thank you to our awesome sponsors. We have a few, and I want to tell you tonight about Next Issue, which is the coolest. It's so awesome. It costs $10 a month for a subscription, and you get access to every single magazine you could ever want, all your favorite People and Us Weekly, Shape, anything,
Cosmo.
niche, anything that you're into, you can get on your app, on your tablet, whatever you've got on your phone. This is for people who are on the go, travelers who need a little entertainment. I know you're not lugging around 6 magazines and you're also not paying for them. And we are offering a really, really fantastic little freebie for you. If you hit up nextissue.com/ABTV, you can get the first 30 days of Next Issue for free. Again, that is nextissue.com/ABTV, and you can get access to any magazine you love right on your mobile device.
Genius. Genius.
Love it. Yes. So go check that out. We appreciate them very much. And next we open to a scene at Cut Fitness. We're at another gym now. There seems to be a theme.
There's a theme this,
throughout.
well, actually the whole episode, because the bowling, I mean, it's lots of exercise.
Yeah.
I mean, bowling is, I think, you're doing a lot with your arms.
When you're doing it in heels.
There's some core work there. Yeah. Exercise.
Yeah, but this is maybe not such a fun exercise scene. Tamara and Hetty are shooting their quickie workouts for Cut Fitness.
I love the name Quickie Workouts.
Yeah, did you
Adorbs.
think that was a good,
Why not?
good promo?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, what? Okay, wait, what are you thinking now?
No, I liked it.
I thought
liked
it was fine.
And I think the number one thing that deters people from working out is the time limit, the time constraint. So if they can sort of tap into that, especially with their Orange County folks who are probably a lot of very busy business people, I think that's a perfect sort of get for Cut Fitness.
Cute.
It sounds super cute.
I mean, I was actually...
And we got the star power with Tamra.
When they first said it, I was like trying to think of like all the funny like words that go with the word cut.
Yeah.
Because then I was like, I was trying to get like whimsical in that way, and yeah, it just... I need to marinate on this a little longer. But for now, Quickie's fine. Yeah.
If Tamara and Eddie, if you're looking for a new marketing intern.
No, not an intern at this
She's
point,
got some
girl.
ideas
I was
for
like,
ya.
I can't be an intern anymore, honey.
But you're so fresh.
But I'm happy to make suggestions, yes.
I love it.
I'm happy to do that.
I love it. Well, you know what? It must have been extremely awkward for the other folks in the room. And like I work with my hubby too on red carpets. He does the filming for me. And I just think like, all right, you just have to keep it face until you get home. You know, you don't want to do that in front of everybody. It still has to be done, but you don't want to do it in front of the whole production crew. And it sounds like the problem here was that they were not prepared for this. Is really, really what it was. They didn't know what they were going to say. And yes, it's great to be off the cuff. That usually works better, but not having any idea where you're going with a piece. I don't know if you've tried to shoot things where you're just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna turn on and talk.
You know, I think
goes well.
It's always good to have at least some sort of an outline. So even if you're gonna be off the cuff in terms of, you know, the overall structure of things, it's good to at least know kind of the beats you want to hit, I think. And so for them, it seemed, at least the pieces that they showed, it was all in like the intro outro that Tamara was just not having it. She was not... I don't know. She just was totally peeved with Eddie about how he closed, you know, and here's my babe. She was like she was not so cool with that.
Yeah, I mean, in all fairness, Eddie was being a little hosty. is the word that we use in this business when people do the thing like, hello, my name is Eddie, and this is Tamara. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Cut Fitness Quickie series.
Yeah, I'm reading some chat stuff right now. Sorry.
Well, what are the other folks saying?
Do
they agree?
They're actually talking about something completely different.
Of course they are. There's a bit of a delay in their defense.
No, they're introducing new topics.
Okay.
Michael Horn mentioned that he asked if we heard about Tamara's son being arrested.
Yes, absolutely. I was so prepared to cover that in news and gossip.
Oh, okay. So then we'll wait.
Okay.
No, I was like, okay.
You know what?
Michael,
you just hang out in that chat, Michael. We're gonna need more from you. And we will get there.
Okay. Sorry, I was distracted.
Well, did you not know about that?
I did not know about that.
Oh, I can't wait to tell Ollie all
but
about it.
they've just told me everything.
There may be more details.
Okay, you might, yes.
Juicy.
Oi.
Juicy.
I have to just say oi to that.
Well, I wonder what Eddie, I know there was already online speculation like, oh, Simon is going to have a heyday with this whole Ryan thing. But he and Eddie are great friends. Back to Eddie and Tamara back at Cut.
Yes.
Did you think that Eddie was being that bad? I didn't think he was being that awful to her.
No, I didn't either. I think, it's not his forte necessarily to be on camera shooting a video. And so I think in that respect, he was doing what he thought was the appropriate thing to do. Like, he was turned on for the cameras. And I guess, if Tamara doesn't know Hosty Eddie, or like that's not the person she married. So for her to experience that, she was like, I'm not comfortable with this, so I can kind of see it from both perspectives. But no, I didn't think he was being like out of line. I mean, I thought he was just doing what he thought was the right thing to do.
Yeah,
right.
He was acting like a fitness host.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. I was fine with it.
Oh, love it. Well, let's take a little trip to Vicky's house.
Let's take a trip.
Where Billy is there hanging out with her. It's good to see the two of them spending time together.
Right.
And dealing together in the death of her mother. Although it turns to Shannon and Brooks, and Shannon... Well, that's a little bit later. We do find out that Brooks has lost 42 pounds.
It's a lot of weight.
42 pounds. And I know that's not uncommon for cancer patients. And he looks great. He looks fairly healthy, which I know has been one of the points of contention to a lot of people.
Right.
But that's a massive amount of weight to lose. But when you are just juicing, which Shannon has a problem with, and we'll get to that too, I guess it's not that unheard of.
Yes. If you have excess weight and you're just going on a full-on juice diet, you'll lose weight.
Which I don't suggest, people.
You'll lose some weight there. You will. Although that was interesting for me, just that whole because it was there that Shannon kind of did have some exchange about going to see the doctor.
Let's just talk about that. She got very know-it-all-y and very intrusive, almost, I would say.
Okay, so at least from my perspective, just because I am a fan of doctors who, it's not often that there's a doctor who's very, very well versed in both Eastern and Western medicine. Mm-hmm. And so the fact that she had someone that I guess is, highly sought after, and had recommended this person to Brooks a while ago, I could understand her frustration in that respect, just because it's like she obviously cares about Brooks, or else she wouldn't have gotten that upset.
Very much.
She cares about him. She wants him to become well. And so even if one doctor says, here's what I think when you get a diagnosis like cancer, you go see other people. And certainly if I had friends that were touting, other doctors that were, well respected, I would probably say, hey, great, thanks for the referral. Mm-hmm. Not be so resistant to that. So his rationale for why he hasn't gone, I don't know, but I think I probably would have been in Shannon's shoes a little bit. Mm-hmm. Because I know I can say that I've gotten on some of my friends' cases when they're complaining about some ailments, and I'm like, wait a minute, I told you to go see that person,
Okay.
So she was being passionate. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that was like a great example of her really giving a shit about Brooks.
And her motives were pure.
Yes, yeah. I thought so.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what the hell, Brooks?
Okay. That's an interesting take on it.
I don't know, that's my take on it. Okay.
Well, I assume we're going to get real controversial up in here now, because we are going to talk about Tim Brown, the medium.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was
the next to arrive. Okay. The next to take a trip to Vicky's house.
His name should be
like
medium
more... Tim Brown.
I don't know. Yeah, okay. Yes, I did watch all that. I think I was like, it would have been better if his name was like something more mystical. And then I would be like, oh, the medium. I don't know.
There maybe would have been a cheese ball factor there. But what I
perhaps
latched onto in this scene was, right from the beginning, Tamara said, I have a psychic that I go to.
Yep.
She clearly believes in this, but is very skeptical of this particular guy.
100%.
But doesn't seem to have a reason for that.
Or they cut it out. They didn't show us why, or whatever it was.
Well, once he got rolling, I was pretty impressed.
Yep.
I've had kind of an experience with this too, which I'll share, but I thought he was very very dead on from the beginning. And the fact that she was just looking for little things like interrupt him and what is the tattoo of? It's like, that was not the point. That wasn't what, grandma was telling him about. The point was not what the tattoo was.
Yeah, because he did bring up enough things where, especially about like the teeth and the dental work and all that stuff. And, I was kind of thinking back of even if someone like that were to try and Google and do like a lot of research on someone before they, if they were a con artist or, not really a medium. I was like really wondering what he'd be able to uncover regarding her teeth.
That's a good point.
Or like, because I was like trying to think back, I was like, did they ever talk about her teeth on any episodes? I was like trying to I was going through my Housewives history and kind of like, wait a minute, was the teeth a topic? Do you recall this?
I not that I recall.
Like, I need like a super fan.
But they were off the air for almost a year. So we are in our defense, memories may have lapsed.
That's true. Amen to that. I'm like, we're getting older. Okay.
Yeah. I thought he was sort of dead on, and I was not clear as to why she was questioning him. Did you? And you thought it was weird too? What
Joseph Boza said, I think Tamra's thoughts about the guy will be on the stuff that's shown. That should have aired episode, like the behind the. I think they're like gonna save it.
Footage kind of a thing.
The lost footage, the lost and newly found footage. Yes, exactly.
Why was Tamra suspicious?
It's possible. Yeah. I mean, she definitely was reacting. I was actually thinking that too, because they would cut to her reactions now and again, and I was like, wait a minute. Are they using, like, based on kind of the things that Megan was saying last week about kind of taking her or Jim's reactions, but it like was not in that moment when that reaction actually happened. Mm-hmm. So I was watching Tamra reacting and I was thinking, wait a minute, was that really to that, or was that to something else and they just used that there? I feel like all season I'm going to be doing that now, where I'm like, wait a minute, is that...
We know too much now.
Continuity. I'm like, what's happening? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, Michael Horn just said, I don't remember the teeth ever being brought up. Yeah, me neither. Okay. So, yeah, I'm going with...
That's some strong fan. Like, that's, I think, if three of us say, then we're probably good.
And, I thought it was interesting, too, when the medium was like, if I'm interrupted, it affects me. And that makes sense. I mean, I guess if you're being channeled by spirits and, that's distracting enough. You can't have people just shouting questions at you.
Absolutely. And with what he said to Billy, that was clearly a prediction thing. Like he saw Billy dealing with health issues that would stem from that.
Right.
And he didn't go so far as to say that. And it almost came off weird if you think like, oh, why did he just imply, oh, go get that checked? He might have been seeing something very serious.
Yeah, totally.
And maybe even pulled Billy aside after when the cameras were on.
Something?
Yeah. But I thought that was really kind of crazy. And if I was Billy, I would head straight to the doctor to get that checked.
Hopefully Billy went to the doctor. Yes, I don't think Vicky needs any more.
Oh no.
Of her men. She doesn't need any more man stress.
No.
She doesn't need any more stress in general. But yes, yeah. Come on, Billy, get to the doc.
Do you believe in mediums?
I actually have seen a couple mediums. So sure, I'll say yes to that. Well, I mean, it's always interesting.
So you've given them a chance.
Yeah. Yes.
But maybe it doesn't sound like you had concrete experiences each time, or
I think I had glimmers of a concrete experience. So I think that there was like things where it made me go, huh. And then there were times where I'm like, like I've experienced kind of both ends of the spectrum where, they say just enough where you are like, I'm a believer, but then they also say enough where you're like, well, wait, could anybody have known that? So perhaps I just need to see more mediums.
Yeah, do a little more research. Well, I'm kind of with you on this. I've always believed, I used to love watching John Edwards' show, but I do acknowledge that there's such a factor to it of like wanting to believe, especially people who are being read, and I just think I'm a very positive person too, and although kind of skeptical, something like that is easy to believe in.
Especially when someone passes away and you really, really want to connect with that person when you don't have any closure. So yes, 100 bajillion%.
Yeah, and there's a really fantastic psychic medium named Bill Phillips here in LA who works with a lot of celebrities. And my husband and I, who I was just saying does my camera work, went to interview him at his office one evening. This is quite a while ago.
Did he harness anything when you were there?
A year or so ago? Yes. we had to stop our interview, and I was just talking to him about, you know, what he does and how he does it, kind of general stuff like that.
And he was like, hold on.
We had to stop because there was such crackling in the audio from the microphones and the headphones that it was affecting the interview footage.
That's amazing.
And he was like, oh, you know, they're just talking, like, it'll come and go. It happens all the time here. And I was sort of like, there's not another explanation for that. But then he was like, well, you know, do you want to know who it is?
And you were like, yes.
And continued to tell us that my husband's grandfather was in the room and gave a lot of good details. Again, like you say, you know, things that not too far, you know, sort of just enough that I really
you were latching on.
He is on to something for sure.
Yep.
For sure. And the whole experience was just so surreal that even now that I haven't thought about it for a while, I just kind of think, dang, that was crazy.
Yeah, no.
Some of the stuff he came up with, it really is unbelievable.
I love all of it. I mean, I'm a fan of that kind of stuff. So, but you know, I think you just kind of have to take things with a grain of salt. I think it's certainly one of those things too, where if you've got people that you know that have done it and they can like, it's a good referral business.
Right?
I think, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, because I mean, there's quite a lot of them out there now, but because
and they're all getting reality shows now.
Yeah.
There's going to be a new one on TLC, Monica the Medium or something. She's like a college student.
Oh.
Yeah. I think because I think
her rates are going to go up.
The Long Island Medium is
she's booked for like 25
all but
years.
out.
Yeah. She's like, whoa.
Well, there's just so much
drama,
controversy and so much questioning of her, but. Do our fans in the chat have any opinion on this?
Joseph Boza says every medium is different. Some are good at what they do, and some are so full of it just to charge you an arm and a leg for the hour. And I agree with you, Joseph.
Yeah,
that's true. You got a little bit of. Yeah, you have to.
Well, that is a ballsy
redo your research.
If they are lying, that's
you know. I had a friend that told me to like make a call and don't make the appointment in your name, like make it in someone else's name, and leave someone else's phone number too, so they can't look you up like in any way. And that's actually an interesting. That's an interesting thing because you know. They can do research on you. So I was like, how would I do that? Yeah. It only works if you're like a walk-in somewhere, I think. If you're like, hi, I'm Stephanie.
Well, but I never would have thought of that. I mean, with social media these days, you can find out absolutely everything about someone's life.
Unless you walk in somewhere and like, do you have an opening?
Okay.
Just surprise someone. Hey, what are you feeling? I don't know.
Oh, well, I'm pretty sure that Biggie's mom was there hanging out with them. And moving on, we've got a really interesting scene between Megan and Haley. Now, we always want more of this. We want to know more about their relationship together, how Megan is handling her new stepmomdom, and this was very telling. And I do have to say, in Haley's defense, now she's 17, she's dealing with a lot.
Yes.
And I sort of understand how, you know, just getting your schoolwork done is a much bigger task to her than it is to any other 17-year-old girl.
Absolutely.
And I kind of don't blame her. I understand Megan's frustration, but Haley certainly has her excuse.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's definitely, you know, everyone processes that kind of stuff so differently. So her coping mechanism to get through it is her coping mechanism. It's never a convenient thing, but especially when you're younger and, you know, you're still processing like who you are as a person, let alone like losing a parent. Yeah, it's
rough.
So how do you step parent to that also? Like that's rough too. Yeah. I mean, I think that they're both doing their best, but school's important.
Well, that is true, and she's to the point now where she kind of has to do it or what? Like, this is her chance, graduate from high school, or
GED.
You're going to be, that's not fun for anybody, I'm
guessing.
I'm guessing.
That doesn't sound good either.
A $100 bill in my hand every week might make doing that schoolwork a lot
But wouldn't you give it to her after she shows you all the schoolwork or something? I kind of feel like it should be this kind of situation.
Yes.
Here's what I would do. This just came to me. So instead of doing the $100 every week, like if there's certain benchmarks in the school calendar, like, okay, so at this week, Haley needs to turn in this report and take this test and do whatever, you know, and then it's like the teacher shows Megan, okay, here's how she did. Then you get your, like, maybe at that point it'd be like an accrual. So it'd be like $500 because you've now done everything on your agenda for school. And now you can use this $500 for the next 4 weeks or 5 weeks or whatever it is until your next benchmark. And then you can show me that you've stayed on the ball there. And then you have to save your money or you budget your money.
Which is what Megan was trying to help her do.
Right.
Which I also gave mad props to her for.
But she wasn't doing her work.
You know what I really want to know? What's Megan's allowance? We should have asked her last week. Everybody, if you missed our after show last week, we had Megan and Jim Edmonds in studio with us. They told us a lot of really good, juicy stuff, and they were just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
so if
very
you missed us
cool.
last week, check it out.
Super cool, and it was a surprise that Jim was even here because you didn't know he was coming.
I know.
Yeah, we didn't know he was going to chauffeur her in here.
No, and I thought it was so cute how
Adorable.
he kind of like, he was like, oh, I'll just sit off to the side.
Totally,
But
he
by
did
the time
not.
we got rolling, she had him in there, and
It was cute. It was like, no, it's her thing. It's her thing. But then she was like, no. Like, yeah, it was kind of, they're very adorable. They are.
it was different. We definitely got something different from them.
100% the Walrus. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So,
I agree with you.
yeah.
I agree.
So let's go to pre-Valentine dinner.
Oh, yeah.
With Shannon
That was
and
a very
David.
tender thing. There were some tender moments there.
There was. And after Shannon described her last several Valentine's days, I thought, you know what, David, this better be good.
You better fix it up.
Better be good.
Yeah.
What did you think of her gift?
Well, I'm a fan of stuff like that. Like, I actually have a bracelet that's like of a snake. Like it's a jeweled snake head with like jeweled eyes and stuff, like a wrap bracelet. So I'm a fan of like animals, dragons. I thought it was cool. I don't know. And I feel like he knows Shannon in the sense of she has certain things that she's into and like the meanings behind what a dragon means and all that stuff. She's a very layered person. So I liked it. And I mean, I think that she really liked it because the way she reacted, she seemed like she really did.
Yeah.
I don't think she was like lying about it.
No, definitely not. Well, and you
Some of us have lied about.
about our gifts.
Yes. I'm just saying.
Well,
It's
you
happened.
make a good point. It was the right gift for her. Like, if I would have opened that after
Doing,
not
like,
getting
no
Valentine's
return?
Day gifts, no thank you.
Okay.
But yeah, it was very Shannon, and it clearly, he knew, like, the designer. And
Oh, yeah.
It was something that she had her eye on,
Yes.
was the feeling that I got. So
Yeah.
props to him for that. That shows crazy, like, devotion and thought and planning and...
Points.
Yes.
Points to David.
You're getting there, David.
Points.
You are getting there.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. Yeah, and that was cute. Just how they were communicating with one another. It seemed like there was some good stuff happening communication-wise between the two of them.
Yeah, and I'd like to see more of this. I think the affair thing now has been rehashed, and of course, we want to see how it plays out for them continuing in the future. But I don't need to hear that much about it all the time anymore.
I'm with you.
We got the details, and let's see them heal and go forward.
Yeah.
now, is what I hope.
Yes. Well, on Instagram, it seems that all of her pictures are like them at concerts, taking selfies, on a date. So, it looks like they're doing very well.
Yeah.
So, good job.
Congrats.
Yes.
Congrats.
Yes to that.
Now let's climb some stairs with Tamara and Heather.
Oh.
That's like a thing, right? I've never been there.
Okay, well, I thought that was obviously there's stairs everywhere, but I know that there's a few in Los Angeles that are quite popular, so I don't know where the ones if Blake was here, she'd be like, oh, I could tell you, girls.
She would have all the details for
Yeah.
us. Well, yeah, because there's some that aren't by the beach that, like, I think they've gone to, like, on Vanderpump Rules and some other reality shows, but this one was right on the edge of the
Lovely.
water. It was beautiful.
I like that Heather was like 10 times. No. No. But she also had already worked out. Go, Heather.
I love that. She knew that they weren't really going to get any working out done.
No.
Because they have to talk about their hubbies.
Gossip, yeah.
And Shannon has to spend her time departing her wisdom, as
Yes.
she always does, because, she's got it down. So,
yes.
I mean, if there's anyone to take advice from, and I know a lot of people have been agitated by Heather this season, and they just think she's a know-it-all and hoity-toity.
Wait, people are agitated at Heather this season? I thought that was last season.
Yes, because of all the house stuff.
Oh.
And all the
Well,
money
I mean,
and
you
all
know,
that. There's been some negative fan reaction on that. But I think she's the perfect one to be giving advice. She's got it figured out. Her and Terry, no one is busier than Terry Dubrow.
They're
on
quite
this cast,
busy
for sure.
They are definitely, and they have a skincare line and 4 kids and building a house. I mean, yes, they're definitely time management maestros.
Because she was telling Tamara, you have to do the date nights, and you have to take time,
And have sex.
and you have to do that, and you have to do all the other stuff. And
I was like, this is good advice, Heather. Truly. It could be a bumper sticker. Here's what you got to do.
What
1, 2, and 3.
What would Heather Dubrow do?
Yeah. Hey, if everyone did that, there might be more happy marriages.
You might be right.
Possibly.
So, and the ladies tell us, they let us know that we're going to next scene see a little bowling happen. And I think, all right, well,
Wait,
let's
and so
see how that goes.
What was the occasion for that? It was just like, hey, let's all get together and bowl.
Yep, that seemed like pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think it had something to do with like kind of getting Vicky out of the house, taking her mind off things. I think that was sort of operation,
which is commendable.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I was like, bowling. We haven't seen that before. It wasn't like in past seasons they were like, let's all go bowling because it's the most fun thing that we love to do, you know? Because then I would be more on everyone's page.
Done everything by this point.
Oh, this makes sense. Yeah, exactly.
They're just
like
salsa danced.
Well, now here's the thing. I'm sure just businesses in Orange County are like lining up. Like, how many things can we offer you for free for you to come in to our business, do this thing, you know, and we'll give you 12 lanes. We'll close the place down. You know, they want the publicity, I'm sure. So.
You're so
I don't know,
right?
I don't know.
Yes.
Or I'm like totally just saying something that's completely incorrect. But I would think
that's a legitimate point. Yeah.
People fly out. They're like, oh, let's go on the Housewives tour today, the Housewives of OC, and stop at the bowling alley from season 10.
Yes. Tavern or something it was called.
It had a fancy festive name.
Yeah, and it was fun. I mean, it looked cute and fancy, and I don't know that I would spend an evening there, but, you know.
If you're
whatever, Megan came to win it.
If you're assembled with the right people, I think bowling could be rather a hoot. It could be a hoot.
To bowl.
Well, I mean, it has to be the right group.
Yeah.
You know? Because then it's like, this is boring. But if you're like with people that are all wackadoodle and like fun, you know, and you're just all like there to...
If the shampoo
roll the balls,
if the Grey Goose
or whatever,
in the tall glass with the water, whatever, Shannon does her whole thing.
Yes.
If those are flowing, then it's all good.
Right. Yes.
I love it. Well, you know, it was a really sweet little suggestion from Tamra that she talked to Brianna for Vicky about Brooks.
I thought we were going to get that this episode. I said that to you because they cut to it last week, or I thought they cut to it last week where they showed Michael and Joseph are gonna check me on this right now, but I thought we saw a glimmer in like the previews for what we saw tonight, and it wasn't there, but the glimmer of, hey, do you mind if I talk to Brianna, was there. So next week they're going on their trip, right? When is this happening?
Right before.
Okay.
Maybe she'll call her on the phone while she's packing so that we can show her packing.
Okay.
But what do you think about that? I sort of thought, you know what? Maybe that is a good idea. If anyone could sort of get through to her like, well, I've changed my tune. I saw it the same way that you did, Brianna,
right.
And now I see it this way. I have this new information, and this is what I think now. But it's also kind of weird because Tamara was so with Brianna in going against Brooks that it seems futile and odd for her to have that conversation with Brianna. What do you think?
I think that her and Brianna... have had so many moments of connectedness that I think that they can kind of cut through a lot of BS when they're together. And I think that Brianna kind of sees in Tamra like a confidant of sorts, where I think she knows that Tamra's not gonna BS her.
Right.
So I don't think it's a bad idea. I mean, I think it's a kind of produced moment, but I think it's not a bad idea. By the way, Michael Horn just gave us dropping some knowledge. They went bowling in season 7 when Gretchen's friend Sarah, the cake bow girl, cake bow girl, yelled at Vicky after Gretchen fought with Vicky at the bunko party. So they went bowling after that.
Right. And she just caused a bunch of drama, like for no reason, got up in everyone's face and started arguments at the
I
bowling
remember
alley.
that.
Yes.
Thank you, Michael Horn. But we
that
wanted
was
to
a
forget
good
that, didn't we?
one. We did
So
want
now
to
this is
forget
like a
that
happier
girl.
this is like a happier memory of bowling for the Housewives, because there was not really any
Better. No, it was good.
outside of Vicky having her moment of forgetting her mom. That was
such a real.
that
We're
was sad.
talking about produced moments. That was the opposite.
Oh, that was really
of a
not
produced moment.
Yeah. No.
I mean, I couldn't believe it, and it sort of took her a second for it to sink in, and everyone else was aghast. I mean, but we learned at that time that she's been calling her mom every day and leaving a message, and this is, I guess, when someone does live far away and you're not used to seeing them every day, but you do just give them a phone call. Do you think it's odd or inappropriate that she's almost seeming to let her mom just live on in her mind, or do you think it's healthy for her to be making these phone calls? Do you think that maybe we shouldn't be projecting whether it's healthy or not for her to do that?
I think it's healthy if that's what you need to do to cope, because coping with Haley and whatever that's going to be like for her, it's just everyone is different when it comes to that. So I am no person to say what's right or what's wrong. It's kind of like if this is what makes you feel better or makes you feel like you can live another day, then by all means, because you kind of have to go through whatever it is. You have to go through the sadness and the pain and then turn the corner at some point.
And it has only been a couple of weeks at this point.
Right.
I think my timing is sort of off because we learned when this happened that Vicky's mom passed away. So it seems like a long time ago, but at this point in the season, it's just been a couple of weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But so back to, I think it'll be interesting too if Vicky takes Brianna on that trip that she mentioned, like having a girls' weekend or something.
Yeah, Brianna's never going to do that.
She's not.
No, she's got 2 kids at home. We know she's not having any. She ain't got time for that.
Yeah.
She ain't got time for that.
Yeah. I was like, we didn't see a clip of that this season, so I'm like, I don't know if that's happening. We see a clip of her and Tamara sitting down at a meal, but we don't see her and Vicky whooping it up in Vegas or something.
No. Well, I can't wait to see how that conversation goes between the 2 of them.
I know.
But speaking of another conversation that happened in the limo, something else controversial that we need to debate, we find out that Megan has given Haley birth control.
Oh, yes.
She doesn't think that Haley is sexually active yet, but she suspects that maybe she will be soon and just thinks it's a good idea. Do you think it's a good idea?
So here's what I recall from my teenager days. I had some friends that needed to be on it because it was like a hormone regulator. So if they had bad acne or, they were having skin issues or even...
Yeah, that's a legit thing no matter what age you are. It can be a medicine.
Right. Or even if they were having like really bad periods, it was like a regulator for them. So it kind of helped manage their hormones. So, whether that's 100% the reason...
It didn't sound like that had anything to do with it.
Or that part got edited out or something.
Oh, that's true.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's like...
that's true.
I don't know. Maybe that was there was a few more sentences lined up after her, like, oh, well, she's of the age and, X, Y, and Z. So, better safe than sorry. But, I would hope that obviously at 17, you're also old enough... If you're old enough to have sex, you're old enough to I hope make a decision on whether or not this is the kind of birth control that you would prefer to use. I mean, it's not like that's the only form of birth control out there. So, yeah. What did you think?
Well, I worry about someone that age being on birth control, on something that affects you so much. Like you're saying, some people, that's the reason why they're on it is because they need something straightened out with hormones or whatever it is. But I think if you don't have those ailments and you're only 17 and your hormones are still raging and you're still growing, I think that it can have negative effects.
I'm with you, girl. And I'm more of like, I'd be on Shannon's page with all this. I think that she would probably, her and I would have a conversation and we'd say no to the chemically birth control pills.
Yeah. Well, and I think this is just so far outside the realm of like what would go on at my house. You know what I mean? Like as aghast as Shannon was about it, like that's probably about how my mom would think about this. So I don't know. This would never go down in my house.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a personal thing. Like it's one of those things where I don't know if I would, I think I would probably have a conversation with my kid whenever that happens. Man, that's a really far distance away when I'm talking to my kid about birth control. But if it was me, it would probably not be a pill. I would probably avoid a pill and
try something
and
else.
Educate on the other forms of birth control that are not affecting your cycles and stuff and doing other things that we are not quite sure of.
Oh, I bet our male engineer cannot wait for us to be done.
Leave the room. How are you feeling, James? Is it getting hot back there? Yeah. Okay.
Thumbs up.
James is like, okay, this is quite the episode. Oi.
This next thing may be just as shocking, but not quite as controversial. Well, no, might be just as controversial because Tamara, when she goes, she wants to be stuffed.
Oh yeah, that was funny. And then you were like, oh, that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I did think that was sort of a great idea, just because I'd never really thought of it before. And then I went,
count me in.
Like a raccoon,
It'd be like a
dog. People get their dogs stuffed. I'm like, you know what? I get it. Yeah.
You'll be like forever
Prop
glam.
me up beside the jukebox if I die.
Oh. Yeah, hey, okay. Well,
Don't
let's
be
see if it
sad or
actually...
broken hearted. Spread my ashes in the shoe department.
Oh, that's another song, right?
Yes. I don't have any more. Don't worry. You can talk now.
No. I appreciate it. I was like, let's go to karaoke with Christy because it's got to be a fantastic time.
Oh, jeez.
Christy's going to sauce it up with the karaoke.
Next to the jukebox, all stuffed.
Yeah. Oh, no. Well, okay. I didn't say stuff it up next. I said sauce it up. Okay.
So you're not down with the stuffing?
Whatever. This is another one. Well, if that's what you want to do. Mm-hmm. I just read something of like someone becoming a tree. So like they put their ashes like into where a tree is going to be planted, and I thought that's rather fascinating. So it's like
interesting.
Whether or not you're really in obviously they'd have to get cameras in there to molecularly examine whether or not the tree's roots are absorbing the ashes or not. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
I like it. Okay, well, we just saw one last final little blurby with Megan and Haley and the test scores, and you know what? I just saw that Megan really, really cares.
She seems to care very, very much.
Really
yeah.
cares, and I think Haley's very lucky to have her. And just one little last blurby with Eddie and Tamra too. They decided that Tamra's going to go back to real estate, which I was like, oh yeah, remember when she used to do that a million years ago? And Eddie's going to stay at Cut, and it's going to be easier.
I'm curious how that's all going to unfold, but I guess we shall see. Mm-hmm. We shall see how that's going to unfold. So we also get the glimmer of what their trip is going to be. They're going to Tahiti, and actually, so Michael Horn just said, "Can we please not forget to mention the clip of Alexis?" Saying Costa Rica is in Mexico. So yeah,
that's what that was.
So when that came up, both Christy and I. It was almost like the way that they edited it all together. It was like a forgotten moment. Like it was, I don't know. We were just, wait a minute, was that Alexis?
The way they played it out, it was weird and it sort of seemed unnecessary. Why?
But okay, so there you go. But they're all going to be going to Tahiti. I'm sure it's going to be fabuloso.
I'm hoping for a little more excitement than we had this episode.
I think there will be. I think it's interesting too. That Lizzie's going.
Yes, that is interesting. But I think the most interesting things are probably happening in these ladies' real lives right now. And on that note,
news and gossip.
Let's roll into a little news and gossip.
AFTERBUZZ TV.
Because Vicky got all hot under the collar this week when Radar Online and the Inquisitor reported that she and Brooks are ready to get engaged. They are talking about marriage. And she went online and she said, no way. It's not even down the road. Like, not happening anytime soon. And she was really angry that they were reporting that, which, I was sort of like, they've said worse things about you.
Oh.
Heather shared a makeup-free selfie on Instagram. Now, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. She said she's never had any kind of plastic surgery. She now admits that she is considering a tummy tuck down the road. So,
I don't feel like she has a tummy.
Changed her tune now. She doesn't need
What does she have to tuck? Well, okay. Well, hey.
Well, anyway, so she's changed her tune there a little bit. More power to her. And Shannon shared a little story on Instagram. Her and David were in New York City sometime in the past week. She was pushed down on the sidewalk in some sort of melee and hurt her knee. And David was very sweet. He went and got her arnica for bruising and iced her
natural
knee
healer.
for 2 hours. Yes. So she made a point of sharing this story where he took very good care of her.
Good.
And now on to the breaking news. Mr. Ryan Veith, Tamra's son, arrested June 28th for a drunken physical fight with the mother of his fiancée, Sarah.
Oh, ho, ho.
Not okay in any way, shape, or form. What happened was Sarah called 911 and reported that there's a drunk, shirtless man and that he has hit me. She said she thought maybe her finger was broken and that she could not elaborate anymore to the 911 operator because her 5-year-old daughter was staying there with her. She had gone over to the neighbor's house to call 911 and had her daughter with her and didn't want to elaborate anymore. However, their 5-month-old new daughter, Ava, was with Ryan at the house. And she did also report and mention that they have firearms in the house, which of course they do because they have a firearms store, I think is what Sarah does. So, of course, there are guns in the home as well. And he was taken to jail, released later in the day. Actually, Tamra, this was the day she got back from her Greece honeymoon or whatever that was with Eddie and had to go bail him out of jail.
Oi.
The only sort of update now, all we know is that both Ryan and Sarah have deleted their social media accounts.
Oh.
So are maybe looking to privatize
Under the
this
radar?
a little bit. Yes. And Tamra has been telling friends that they are in couples counseling to try to get some of these things straightened out.
Also, a few little tidbits. Michael Horn, Lizzie at this point in filming was still supposed to be a full-time housewife. And then Joseph said, Joseph Boza just said, I guess Lizzie didn't give them a good storyline for the season and she was reduced to friend status. Oh, wait. But then Michael said, oh, you guys are so good. She says she decided to step down, but rumor has it she wasn't willing to fight with Tamra anymore, so they demoted her. Oh. But even though, like, Tamra seems like this season she's not in the fighting mode.
No,
she seems to be in the peaceful, meditative mode.
Yeah, and Lizzie wouldn't let this go. I don't think for any reason. That's just not financially sound. It's just not a good business move for your life when you have a swimsuit line to promote and a lot of other things to say, oh yeah, demote me so that I don't have to fight. I don't think she would do that. It must have not been her decision. Oh, and on that note, we just love chatting with you guys about all this stuff. Please tweet me throughout the week, whatever thoughts you have, whatever news and gossip things you come across. I love the juicy stuff. Send it to me at Christy Reports, and check out ChristyReports.com as well.
And yes, you can find me everywhere at the Alison Dean and on my YouTube show, Winos and Onesies. And thank you for watching.
Yeah, Blake and Grant will be back next week where we'll break it down again. Before we go, hit that thumbs up button, give us 5 stars. We are on iTunes and SoundCloud, and we love you. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.
Thanks all.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.